Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, we are finally doing another custom head sale. This time we're looking at Logan, or Wolverine, Unmasked Wolverine. We have 3 different options. This is going to be a little bit of a different sort of sale than usual. The general gist is going to be the same, but it's going to be a lot more streamlined for you guys, which should be a good thing. So let's go ahead and just talk about the nitty-gritty first, and then we'll get into the actual products just a little bit. I have to get this out of the way first so that people don't just jump to start buying things without knowing what's going on. So first of all, the sale runs from the 12th of this month, today, the first day of the upload for this video, through the 26th. So it's 2 weeks long only. And I may end it early if there are too many orders, because I need to be able to produce all of these things, because I make them all by hand. So yeah, you get a 2-week period to order whatever you want to order, and then that is the hard cutoff. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. We will have international shipping, of course. You have domestic and international shipping. That'll all be very clear through this store. Hopefully, this is the first time I'm using this site, so it should work, but we'll see, I guess. Obviously, the shipping price will be affected by your location for international orders. All domestic orders have a flat shipping. All international orders have a flat shipping. Should make it super simple. I will note, though, that if you are shipping internationally, you have to assume all risk and any customs fees or anything like that. It's all on you. All I do is put them in the package and send them off. Everything beyond that is up to you and the post office or shipping service or whatever it is. That is it. As far as the fulfillment process, you guys are going to be placing these orders for this 2-week period. Once the sale is completed, I will place an order for getting the heads molded and casted in bulk so that I can have all of the heads I need. Once those come in, I will start painting. I will be filling orders in the order they were received, and you'll get them in that order. Depending on how many orders are received, it could take a long time. So consider this as a pay up front pre-order. I can't say when your head will ship. It could be 6 months from now. I've never had a sale last more than 6 months, or a painting process, including Beast, which was like hundreds and hundreds of them. So it should be within the next 6 months. God willing, everything works out. Shouldn't be a problem. But just so you know, if you order sooner, you will get your head sooner, and it could take a long time if you're really far down on the list. That's just the way it goes. I make these all by hand as far as the painting goes. Again, the molding and casting I'll be outsourcing because there's going to be too many for me to do. I can do small batches, as you can see here, but it's just going to be too time consuming. So that's all of that. These are not for kids. I'll just put that out there. These are adult collectibles, and they are priced, and they look accordingly. Okay, so there are 3 options. Obviously, we do have the cigar head, the yelling head, and then just the plain old angry head, and you will have the option to buy them either painted or unpainted. All the pricing, again, will be on the website. So what I want to do is just, let's get this thing out of the way, and we'll bring these guys back in a minute, but let me show you the actual products, just so you have an idea. We'll start with the naked ones. Don't get too excited. So we're going to start with this one. This is the Cigar Head, obviously. So that's the sculpt. I made the sculpt digitally, and then I printed out on my printer, 3D printer. Then I did molding and casting. They are made to pop right on to the Marvel Legends. As you saw, that was every Wolverine figure I had that could receive these heads. I don't think I missed any. I might have. Either way, that's almost all of them. I probably did. I missed like a black suit or something like that. Either way, it'll fit on that peg, and they all have basically the same body, so it should be fine. But this is the Cigar Sculpt. That's what you're going to be getting. This is exactly what you're going to be getting, give or take. It's going to be some shade of skin tone, pinkish, fleshish color if you're going to order an unpainted one. So this is what you're going to be getting for the cigar version, just like this. It'll come packaged just like this. And this is what you're going to be getting if you order the yelling one. I'll show you guys all the naked ones first, and then I'll show you the painted ones just so you have an idea of what to expect. I'm doing them in flesh tone so that if you guys like chip a nose or something, like a shelf dive, who knows, it won't look as bad. And if you chip an ear or something, get the paint off of there, you can cover it up with some black paint a lot more easily than you can a face. So it won't look great, but at least it gives you some cushion there. Hopefully it won't be a problem. And this is a fairly sturdy resin, so I wouldn't worry about things actually breaking off, like the little pieces of hair right there. It won't be a problem. I've made this so that if it does break, the tips are relatively sturdy and it shouldn't actually break in any way, and these guys really shouldn't break. I've never seen one break, so you should be fine. It's a fairly sturdy resin. Alright, and then for just the angry head, this is it right here. All the teeth are in there, the eyelids, that kind of thing. ready for you guys to paint up. I will do as much trimming as I can see. Those of you who paint, you'll know once you throw some paint on there, you might see something that didn't get trimmed properly or whatever, but that'll be just a tiny little thing. I'll trim any mold lines off I can. The inside part, wherever the injection part goes, that'll be trimmed. You'll basically be ready to paint. You'll probably want to wash them just to be safe. You always should wash something before you paint, but you won't need to do any real prep work at this stage if you're going to be ordering blank ones. Now, if you're going to be ordering the painted ones, this is what you can expect. Obviously, we're going to start with the cigar version. I think this is the one most people are going to want. They're going to come with just the jet black hair, not doing any of the blue streaking this time. I'm going for sort of like a comic cartoon look, but with a flair of realism with like the shading and the stubble and stuff like that. So you can see the 5 o'clock shadow. You can see there's like blushing in the cheeks, a little bit of red throughout, like in the nose and forehead a little bit, just to bring them to life, make it look like it's actual skin tone. You can see the lips are painted, the gums, the teeth, eyes, eyelids, all of that. You're going to get a little bit of gloss on the eyes and in the mouth to make it look wet as they do in real life. You know, just all the detail work's going to be there, as you can see here. So the cigar is going to look lit as much as it can. That thing's like the size of a toothpick, so, you know, it's sculpted and painted, but it's just some orange and yellow on there, nothing crazy. But yeah, you're going to get the shading and everything on. It's going to look as much like this as possible. I am painting them all by hand, of course, so there will be room for some variation. But that's the cigar version. We also have, of course, the yelling version, which has even more detail work in the mouth, as you might guess, because we have the tongue, and then there's red in the top of the mouth. I'm not going to be able to show that to you because of the shadows right now, but there's like a darker color in the top of the mouth, and then I made the very middle back just black, so it looks like it's actually a hole, you know, as your throat would be. So just to give it a little bit more life, and again, there's more shading and everything throughout. So that's what you're going to be getting if you get the open mouth yelling version. And then if you want the angry version, here we have this here. I'm so close to the camera so you guys can see the details, it keeps losing focus. But yeah, as you can see, this is a good example of the shading throughout the flesh tones. You know, just a little bit to bring it to life, and it does help the way I did it. It helps it to match more of the other figures. Like, it's not going to match every single Wolverine figure because they all have different skin tones, but because I did the shading in the skin, you're going to pick up on different colors with different bodies, and it should look pretty good on most of them. I'm filming this separate from the rest of the video, so I'll either have talked about that already or you'll see it at the end, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But there you go, that's the angry one with the teeth showing. Didn't want to do one without the teeth showing. It is Wolverine, of course. So there's that. And then what I want to do real quick before we get into the rest, let's just do some quick comparisons, you know? Let's look at what the alternative would be. This is the Hasbro release of an angry-looking Wolverine. You can see there's a little bit of a difference in the styling, and you can decide whatever you like, but of course now you have a little bit more to go off of. And I know this isn't like a direct comparison because it's the AOA Wolverine, but that's another comparison to like a frowning face Wolverine. That way you know what you're getting into. And then we can also look at the yelling one. You know, they have a couple alternative yelling heads. Here's one. This one came on the motorcycle Wolverine. There you go. That's a close-ish comparison to like a yelling Wolverine. And then we also have this one, which is another yelling Wolverine from the Weapon X figure. So you have that, or you can have that. And I know the hairs don't match. I can't make every single version of Wolverine. But there you go. That's all the painted versions, and that's what you're going to be getting. Give or take, of course, they are going to be painted by hand. But yeah, they're all done. And I didn't paint white dots on the eyes because I like to put gloss on there, and you get a more natural reflection, and I think it looks better. So that's the way I do that. He does have a heavy brow, so don't worry. It's not like there's just black in there. He's not cross-eyed. There's not a big black spot. That's just the shading from the heavy lighting here. So it looks really nice in natural light. I think it looks good in studio light too, but to the naked eye with natural light, I love the way these look personally, but I'm a little bit biased. So anyway, now you guys have some close-ups. You can decide for yourself if you want to get them using that information. I do want to briefly mention that the peg holes in the heads here are going to be each one test fitted before I ship them out to make sure that they fit on the Wolverine figures I have. That doesn't guarantee, I have to make this disclaimer, that doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to be the perfect snug fit on every single Wolverine figure. They're all going to be slightly different to some degree just because plastics anneal differently. Sometimes different batches could be a slightly different mixture. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to test fit everyone to fit on at least one of my Wolverine figures. They should all have the same neck peg, so that's the best I can do. You might get one that's slightly tighter because your figure's peg is slightly bigger, or it might be slightly looser because your peg is slightly smaller. there's nothing I can do about that. There's going to be some degree of variance, but they do peg on. Shardamus showed it in his video when he got a set of these, that they fit on his. They're going to fit on mine before I ship them out. That's the best I can do. There's nothing else I can do. I'm going to make sure every single one fits before I ship it out by hand, personally, and that's going to have to do. So the neck pegs will be trimmed to fit on the Marvel Legends Wolverine figures as best as I possibly can for as many figures as possible. We're going to bring this turntable back around because it wasn't just for funsies that I brought this out in the first place. I wanted to show you the different skin tones because, as you guys know, Hasbro skin tones are not always consistent. So what I did was, when I paint them, obviously when you paint them, that's going to be up to you. These are not like a final color. You could technically do that if you wanted, but they won't be made to match. It's just a base, some kind of flesh tone. The painted ones, however, I'm going to paint them so that they kind of match as many as possible. And what you're going to see here is basically what you're going to get. The two that match the worst are these two right here. The battle damaged shirtless Wolverine, he's very, very saturated, his skin tone. So the skin tone on the body does not match the head as well as it definitely could. Again, I have to make them match as many as I can in general. So that one's not the greatest, and neither is this one. This guy's very orange. But this way you guys know exactly what you're getting. So this guy's skin tone is fairly orange, so his face doesn't match as well. This one and this one are the two that I wanted it to be as close to as possible, and they have very different skin tones, but I was able to use some tricks to make it look like it matches either one of them fairly well. So that was my main goal. So both of these bodies, obviously they don't match exactly. I can't make them match both exactly, but they do match pretty darn well for those two. And then this one also is not too bad. This one has a fairly fleshy flesh tone compared to the other ones. Those ones have a bit of a yellowish grayish tone. So it matches on this guy pretty well also. This one, Weapon X, it's not bad. He's got a little bit more pink in his skin, but because of the blushing on the head, I know that's not really like a Weapon X head, it's more of a Logan head, but if you wanted to, just to show you, it matches well enough that you could get by. In my opinion, you can decide for yourself. And then we have maybe my favorite one, which is also a pretty good match, I think. The tank top Wolverine with the jeans from the bike. It matches that one pretty darn well. So I guess this one and the two tiger stripe versions are probably the best matches. Then we have brown suit, then Weapon X, and then shirtless and AOA. I don't know, is there, I don't remember, I'm sure, oh yeah, there is a black suit Wolverine. I must have missed it when I was digging through my pile. Anyway, I don't know if it matches the black suit offhand, but as you can see, because of the shading in the skin tone, it does kind of match the rest of them enough, at least in my opinion. You guys can, again, decide for yourself what you think. But anyway, that's the head sale. It runs for 2 weeks, starting from today, which is the 12th. It runs to the 26th. All the pricing is on the site. Site is in the description below. You can order painted, unpainted. International shipping is okay. Order as many as you want, as few as you want. However that works. If you make separate orders, you will pay separate shipping. I'm not going to go after the fact and try to combine them or anything like that. But I made it as simple as possible. I've given you as much of a look at what you're buying as possible. Remember, these are considered like paid up front pre-orders because I have to make them by hand once all the orders are in. And that should be everything you guys need to know. If you have any questions, please do ask in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. But that way you guys can get your orders in this 2-week period with no problem at all, hopefully. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.